Mo kí gbogbo wa nínú ìkànnì aláyọ̀ yìí. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ aládé pátápátá ní gbogbo ibi tí ẹ bá wà lágbàáyé. A kú dédé àsìkò yìí o. Oòduà gbè wá kò ní gbé ọ̀dàlẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, abala ẹgbà yìí ẹ̀wò ẹ bá wa dá sí. Òun la wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ o lórí ìkànnì àrólé bàbá 1010 TV yìí. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí mi báyìí, bó ṣe ń lọ yẹn gẹ́lẹ́ ni mo mú wá fún yín. Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn wa, gbogbo aláṣà tí ń gbọ́ ìró kẹ̀kẹ́ ogun eléyìí tí Donald Trump tó fi sórí ẹ̀sì ẹ̀ fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà látàrí ìpànìyàn ìṣekúpani àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn mùsùlùmí tí wọ́n jẹ́ agbésùmọ̀mí tí àwọn ènìyàn ń pè ní àwọn Muslim terrorist bí àwọn Al-Qaeda, àwọn Taliban, ẹ̀kọ̀dárò àwọn Boko Haram. Ṣẹ̀dẹ̀mọ̀ pé orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní gbogbo àwọn agbésùmọ̀mí àwọn terrorist wọ̀nyí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà náà fi ṣe federal capital, òun náà fi ṣe capital. Ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo wọn wà. Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, gbogbo wa náà la gbọ́ lẹ́nu ọjọ́ bíi mẹ́ta yìí tí wọ́n wọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tí wọ́n pa bí èèyàn bíi 100 lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà. Mo fẹ́ sọ pé nínú ìjọba Tinubu àwọn ará bí ti àtáàkì ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ń sìn àlékà tí wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn. Ẹ má gbàgbé ti Oǹdó ti Ọ̀wọ̀ o eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Catholic tí ń bẹ ní Ọ̀wọ̀. Ẹ mọ iye àwọn ènìyàn tó lọ. Mo rò wípé igbe àwọn ènìyàn wọ̀nyí ó ti ṣetán tó fẹ́ gbẹ̀san o. Bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, àwọn fídíò kan bẹ́ ń bí tí ẹ ti máa mọ̀ wípé Donald Trump ti ń pinlẹ̀ o, ó ti ń múra láti wá ṣe ohun tó sọ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. Ó lóun fún ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu, ó fún ní gbèdéke ìgbà díẹ̀ láti make sure wípé òun ò tún padà gbọ́ sétí mọ́ wípé wọ́n tó ṣe àkọlù sí Kìrìsìtẹ́nì kankan ní orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà mọ́. Ó ní bí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ o, òun ti ṣetán o láti kógun wá. Má fẹ́ kẹ́ wo àwọn fídíò kan tí mo tò sínú fídíò yìí. Bá ṣe wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, àwọn kan ti dìde wípé ohun tí Donald Trump fẹ́ wá ṣe ó ṣeéṣe kí wọ́n pàdánù Nàìjíríà pátápátá àbí ó ṣeéṣe kí àwọn olóṣèlú pàdánù gbogbo agbára wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn kan ń dunnú. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, màá fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ dá sí fídíò yìí dáadáa o. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn kan ń dunnú, wọ́n ń jó wọ́n ń yọ̀ pé ìwọ Olódùmarè bí Donald Trump bá tiẹ̀ wá kó gba gbogbo ìjọba yẹn kó gbà á kó jẹ́ pé àwọn òyìnbó gan ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní darí wa kó tún kó wa lẹ́rú lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ó tẹ́ wọn lọ́rùn pé àwọn believe pé ètò ààbò á wà fún wọn. Àwọn á dẹ̀ máa jàjẹ́ yóò jàjẹ́ ṣẹ́kù tó bá jẹ́ wípé Donald Trump ṣe bó ṣe sọ pé ó fẹ́ ṣe yìí kí wọ́n kúkú wá gba gbogbo ìjọba yẹn lọ́wọ́ everybody. Kó jẹ́ pé àwọn ló máa jẹ́ president wa, àwọn ló máa wà nínú gbogbo òṣèlú wa pé ó tẹ́ wọn lọ́rùn o pé àwọn máa rí iná máa tàn gbogbo resources wa tá a ní táwọn arábí ń kó tí wọ́n fi ń fìyà jẹ wá. Àwọn arábí á máa lò ó bọ́ bá tẹ̀ máa kọ́nú ẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n àwa náà máa rí jẹ ń bẹ̀. Àwọn kan ti ń gbélù tó ti ń gbọpẹ́ o tí wọ́n ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ síta. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn kan náà jáde ń sìn tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ pé irọ́ ni wọ́n fi pa o, Tinubu náà fẹ́ fi gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, ojú wo lẹ̀yin fi wu ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà lẹ́yìn? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ kóòtù òjire pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń là kọjá pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá à ń fetí gbọ́ yìí, ojú wo lẹ̀yin fi rí eléyìí tó bá kọ sí yín nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ sílẹ̀ yìí? Yálà ohun tí Donald Trump fẹ́ ṣe ó tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn, inú yín dùn sí, tàbí nídàkejì tí wọ́n ń sọ àbí nídàkẹta, báwo lẹ ṣe fojú rí sí? Ẹ fi sí comment section yín èèyàn mi. Àsìkò ti tó lágbára Elédùmarè ẹ pàdé mi lọ́la lórí live video tá máa mú wá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Èmi náà ṣàlàyé tèmi. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, mo fún yín láǹfààní lórí ètò wa ẹgbà yìí yẹ̀wò ẹ bá wa dá sí. Kẹ́yìn náà fi èròǹgbà yín lẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí Donald Trump sọ fún Tinubu àti gbogbo nǹkan táwọn ènìyàn ń sọ àti eléyìí tẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi yìí. Ẹ fèsì sí. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, kí má fa ọ̀rọ̀ gùn. Ọmọ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu tí à ń pè ní Adétóun ọmọ Jagaban òun náà ti fọ́n síta o ó ti tu bóde o ó tiẹ̀ sọ wípé ó ní ṣe ìbẹ̀rù ní kápẹ́lẹ́ mi àbí bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àwọn olóṣèlú Fúlàní tí wọ́n jẹ́ top politicians ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi wọ́n ti forí ń gbárí o ó ti fẹ́ máa dìbò lo yàá mi báyìí ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ìbẹ̀rù bójó ó ti mú àwọn ará bí o kódà bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí àwọn olóṣèlú kọ̀ọ̀kan wọ́n fẹ́ máa fi style tọ̀ sí ṣòkòtò ṣùgbọ́n torí pé wọ́n mọ̀ wípé ohun tí Donald Trump ń sọ yìí pé tóun bá tún gbọ́ pé wọ́n tún pa kìrìsìtẹ́nì àwọn máa gbégbèsè àwọn olóṣèlú ti rí i pé kò sígbà tí Donald Trump tún ní gbọ́ báyìí torí àwọn ará bí tá a kó wọlé wọ́n ti yà kúra bọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ kò sígbà tí wọ́n tún ní gbọ́ kò sígbà tí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yóò ní padà ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀ èèyàn ọmọ aládé kí ló fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ èèyàn ọmọ kóòtù òjire ẹ fojú wò sọ́tọ̀ ẹja fojú wò sósì mo láwọn kan gbàlù wọ́n gbàjọ́ àwọn kan ní rárá o wọ́n fẹ́ gbàjọba lọ́wọ́ Tinubu irọ́ ni wọ́n fi ń pa gbogbo àwọn kan ní tó bá tiẹ̀ gba gbogbo ìjọba yìí lọ́wọ́ wa zero ni ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà máa padà sí o pé ilẹ̀ yẹn bá wá dàbí ti Libya ó máa dàbí ti Afghanistan ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi kí lè rògbà yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ sábẹ́ comment section ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ já gbóhùn lẹ́nu arábìnrin tó ní òun ọmọ Jagaban yìí kẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ tó ní ẹ̀rù ń bà mí ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi tó bá jẹ́ pé ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ rèé tẹ́ ò rí fídíò wa yìí bá pàdé ẹ̀yin náà subscribe síbẹ̀ o abala ẹgbà yìí ẹ̀wọ̀ ẹ bá wa dá sílẹ̀ wa o níbi tá a ti máa mú oríṣiríṣi fídíò wa tẹ́ ẹ ti máa kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tẹ́yìn náà ti máa fi èròǹgbà ọkàn yín sí ibi tó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ fi sí ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi ẹ subscribe kẹ́ ẹ tó bá wa share ètò yìí èròǹgbà yín mo fẹ́ rí lábẹ́ comment section yìí èèyàn mi ẹ farabalẹ̀ dáadáa ẹ bá mi wo fídíò yìí.
Good morning, fellow citizens of Nigeria. My name remains just Adétóun. I cannot explain this period. I cannot define it. Whether it is a period of fear, a period of panic, or a period of liberation has come. President Trump, via a Twitter message, not entourage, not delegate expense paid trip, not letter, just a social media communication, has passed a message to us that they are going to release or coming to take our country, or there's going to be war. However he has put it, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you boldly told all of us that you are tired of our insults, and then you have avoided social media at all costs because you don't want to have high blood pressure. Welcome, high blood pressure. That is supposed to kill only our president, but is about to gulp the nation at once now. Every day we come out on the space of this media, shouting, screaming, crying about insecurity on our children, about religion, about safety for our young girls and our boys, about the fact that people are dying in hunger. Our own government failed to listen to us. Lai Mohammed told you people a lie that everything is AI. You people think it's content creation. You people think it's clouting. You think we need attention, we need money, we are hungry. Not understanding that it is about humanity and our people. One man raised his voice against the killing of Christians. The whole world has listened to him. And Trump has shown the supremacy of power. And you people are still talking about sovereignty. There is nothing called political sovereignty. This is the voice of the lower level against the voice of the high and mighty. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't know how you became president, whether it is by hijacking or by rigging, or by ambition or by cruelty. But listen to the voice of the masses. Nothing must happen to us in this country. We have cried and screamed enough. It is not about APC. It is not about us as a family. This is not Lagos that belongs to you and I. This is Nigeria that belongs to everybody. This is the giant of Africa that all eyes are on us. All of a sudden now, the Minister of Communication knows where CNN is. All of a sudden now, you people now have become content creators like us. The official Asiwaju Tinubu page on Instagram was contracted to some people. The same random mockery that told us that you are a drug baron. The same random mockery that fights every political parties just to favor one person has suddenly become the mouthpiece of Nigeria instead of the president himself. When last did you grant presidential statements? When last did you engage journalists? When last did you do any presidential briefing? Trump communicated only through WhatsApp, through Twitter. The mouthpiece of the global face, of the global stage. You ignored everybody. Asiwaju, it is not about the ambition to become the president. Your ambition is supposed to be to serve Nigerians and save us. Have you forgotten in 2014, January 29, this same you, Asiwaju, during Goodluck Jonathan, you said it that they were killing Christians. Can you see the outcome of Muslim tickets? Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I don't know how you appointed Minister of State, Minister of Defense. Let me list them. Minister of Intergovernment. All of you ministers, I don't know who you paid to. I don't know who you found, how you found your way there. But it is either you resign now or Asiwaju should sack you and let them employ competent people. Asiwaju, Nigeria must not go down. Nothing must happen to us. This is not about tribalism. This is about we as a nation. This is about our motherland. This is about the masses. This is about the insecure. Nigeria is no longer home. Everybody in Canada, America, everybody. They call those places their home because home is where there is safety. Home is where the government feels the pain of the common man. Home is where the government understands its responsibility and not its titles. Minister of Foreign Affairs, you failed to initiate contact with American counterparts. All of you, what you people have been doing, end this Boko Haram rehabilitation program. End Boko Haram rehabilitation program now. You are doing peace meeting. You failed to do peace meeting. You failed. Asiwaju, you have failed. The best thing for you to do now is to accept failure and begin to reconstruct and reconsider saving this country. Nobody should attack us. There is nothing called political sovereignty anymore. I wrote some things down. And I want you to interstate grazing should stop. Interstate grazing should stop with immediate effect. Publicly ban headsmen from carrying AK-47. This killing of Muslims has been going on. They call it Boko Haram. They call it insurgency. They call it all sorts. As you lay your bed, so you lie on it. You see, the way you sat down, the way you are looking, the way you portrayed yourself on the chair is the same way the international organization has snapped you and they are addressing Nigeria. You people now understand that this is a generation called woke. I call this English all the time. It is not about hierarchy of power. It is about listening to the masses. Are you willing to open your ears now? Are you willing to save this country? Asiwaju, nothing must happen to us. All of us are apprehensive now. Go to that page called Official Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Everybody is there now calling for Trump to make it faster than expected because everybody is tired. 61% of Nigerians are living in poverty. I did a video a few days ago. I told you 2027 should be the cheapest election. If only you listen to the voice of the people. You surround yourself with sycophants. People who cannot tell you the truth. People who don't give you daily briefings. People who don't understand, who don't report to you. Shayi, you go to the north all the time. You share rice, you share money to secure 2027 election. Have you for once told Papa that things are happening, that people are dying? Onyibo people do not understand massacre. They don't see it. It is not a norm for them. We have accepted dying daily. 700 and something die today, 500 die tomorrow. Our children are being molested. A whole Minister of Women Affairs told me a few days ago that I'm rude because I am asking for the state to take responsibility of Ochayan's death. Ochayan's death is just one out of millions of children that the society has failed. And how did the society fail them? There is this Child Rights Act that is supposed to be in effect, fully loaded. But we have a Child Rights Act that is empty and has failed thousands and millions of children. I've said it countless times. If I don't do cases of child molestation, I do nothing less than 4 million in a day. Minister of State, Minister of Defense, Minister of Intergovernment Affairs, Minister of Communication, all of you should get out of those offices. You are incompetent. Now you are running from pillar to post, but you ignore that we're shouting. You think it's easy to be shouting? You think it's easy to be coming on the media space all the time, complaining? You turn deaf ears to us. But the international society has not turned deaf ears because this is about we as human beings and not about we as Nigerians. This is not about we as APC. This is not about we as Lagosians. Ashiwaju, I have told you countless times, you own Lagos. Nobody is contending with you. You don't own Nigeria. You cannot rule Nigeria the way you are ruling Lagos. You cannot give instructions in Nigeria. You have to listen to the people. Take the people's emotion, security, safety, voice into consideration. Look at where we are now. Ashiwaju, nothing must happen to us. Nothing must happen to the citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The blood of everybody is hanging on your neck. Our safety is hanging on your neck, Bogu. This is not about greed to gain power. This is the call to serve humanity. Accept defeat. Apologize to Nigerians. Seek for time. Begin to engage the journalists. Begin to engage citizens. This country is for us. It is ours. Ile mama waniyo, ile baba waniyo, ile oyi, ile wara. Nigeria, it is our own. It is not for we, the Ashiwaju clan. It is not for APC. It is for the masses, the common man, the Muslims and the Christians.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to send military forces into Nigeria unless the government stops what he called the killings of Christians by terrorists. Trump posted the message on Truth Social, saying the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists, he says, who are committing these horrible atrocities. Trump says he's instructed the Department of War to prepare for possible action and says if we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet. Well, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has responded to Trump in a statement saying since 2023, our administration has maintained an open and active engagement with Christian and Muslim leaders alike and continues to address security challenges which affect citizens across faiths and regions. The characterizations of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not, he says, reflect our national reality. Well, let's speak to Bulama Bukati about this. He's a Nigerian human rights lawyer and an analyst on conflict and development in Africa. Thank you so much for your time. So Donald Trump claims there is a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. From your research and experience, is this claim true? Are those facing persecution in Nigeria mainly Christians?
Absolutely not. The answer is a flat no. All the data reveals is that there is no Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. And this narrative is a dangerous, far-right narrative that has been simmering for a long time that President Trump is amplifying today. It is very dangerous, it is divisive, and it is only going to increase or further increase instability in Nigeria. What the data reveals is that there are terrorist groups claiming to be fighting in the name of Islam, who are misinterpreting Islam and misapplying it. They target Muslims and Christians anywhere they find them. They bomb markets, they bomb churches, they bomb mosques, and they attack every civilian location they find. They do not discriminate between Muslims and Christians. And what the data shows, for my PhD research, for example, I used the data, the Nigerian Securities Tracker data, which was collated by the Council on Foreign Relations. And it shows that Boko Haram had attacked 83 churches and 72 mosques, but it had killed more than 2,000 people, more than 2,000 Muslim worshippers in the mosque, as against about 1,500 churches or people killed in church. And I mean, we are not comparing one or the other. Both of them are wrong. All attacks on innocent civilians are wrong, and we should be working together to stop Boko Haram from those attacks.
So what has the government been doing then to stop these attacks, which, as you say, have targeted both Muslims and Christians in Nigeria?
The Nigerian government has, over the past 10 years or so, allocated billions of dollars to insecurity. And they have claimed to have purchased weapons and reformed the Nigeria's military and security architecture to confront the crisis. Unfortunately, the situation continues to escalate. Part of it is lack of good governance. Part of it is corruption in the security procurement sector. Part of it is negligence by the government. Part of it is resilience by these groups, because these are guerrilla groups that hit and run. And it is not easy to tackle groups like those. But also, Nigeria has vast swaths of land that have not been controlled or governed for many years. And these terrorists find their enclave or their harbor there, and that's where they operate into the cities and retreat back to their jungles. It's very difficult. The Nigerian...
Yeah, let me ask you, how might Trump's framing of Nigeria as a place where Christians are being wiped out, how might it affect Nigeria's relationship with the U.S. and also its internal religious harmony? And do you think that military assistance from the United States could actually help Nigeria without undermining its sovereignty, of course?
Sure. So, I mean, Trump's narrative, the way it will affect Nigeria is that Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in Nigeria are common enemies of Nigerian Muslims as well as Christians. And the only way you can defeat this enemy is by uniting. Trump's narrative is dividing Nigerians dramatically, even more than before. And the only person that will benefit in this division are the terrorists. And of course, American help with weapons, with equipment, with training to the Nigerian military will help. But the kind of action Donald Trump was suggesting, which shows unilateral intervention in Nigeria, will only escalate matters and is going to be counterproductive. The United States has nasty experiences in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and I don't think they want to repeat that mistake. And therefore, the way forward is to work with the Nigerian government, to work with Nigerians, Muslims, and Christians who are affected by this violence, and to do things in calm ways rather than announcing things on Twitter or doing social media foreign policy. I think Trump and the American government can help, but not in this way.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you for your insight. Bulama Bukati joining us on Al Jazeera there from Benin.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.
Breaking news to bring you now. We're just hearing that President Trump has determined and dictated that Nigeria is to be made a country of particular concern. This is a Truth Social post that the president has shared, saying Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I'm hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, something must be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Signed, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America.
Tell us what's happening in Nigeria. And as you know, I've been very vocal calling out the mass murder of Christians. Over 50,000 Christians have been murdered in Nigeria since 2009. Over 20,000 churches and schools have been destroyed, burned to the ground. And you have Boko Haram and other radical Islamic terrorist groups that are targeting and persecuting Christians in particular. And I will tell you, the government of Nigeria is very unhappy with me. They have decried my saying this. I have introduced legislation to designate them a country of special concern, and the government of Nigeria is very unhappy. And I've said, look, there are far too many government leaders who have turned a blind eye to what is happening, who have acquiesced in what is happening, who are enforcing either Sharia laws or blasphemy laws and facilitating the persecution of Christians. And as I said, the Nigerian government has been vigorously resisting me in this. Give me your judgment. What do you see happening in Nigeria, and what do you think is actually the truth?
Nigeria is the most important African country. It has the largest population. And obviously, there's a vying for control between, on the one hand, the Islamic states of Nigeria and the Christian states of Nigeria. And it used to be about 50-50, but because the Islamist movement, Boko Haram and others, they want to apply force, the jihadist force, this sort of gruesome killing that we've seen on October 7 in 2023 in Israel. So what is going on in Nigeria? The Islamists in Nigeria are killing Christians. They're burning their churches. They're raping their women. They are invoking blasphemy laws. So in the southern regions of Nigeria, Sharia law is the law. And if you say Ted Cruz has, he said something bad against Islam, you can have a mob come and lynch you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But then the government should be doing something about it, and the government isn't doing anything about it. Now, what is the characteristic of the government of Nigeria? It's corrupt. The elites in Nigeria, whether they're Muslim or whether they're Christian, they're in this bubble. And I think that bubble has to be burst. They're in a comfort bubble. I don't really think that they care about that much about, or are held responsible or accountable or transparent for what is going on with a large majority of the Nigerian population. And that's what you see. And we give a lot of money as the United States and legitimacy to this government. We've got to hold them accountable. And I couldn't be more pleased that you are involved in this, Senator Cruz. You're calling them out, and you're going to say, if you want to be our ally and our friend, we need you to uphold your end of being a responsible and responsive government. There's a goal.
There are more Christians being murdered in Nigeria than any country on planet Earth. Now, one thing you said that I thought was interesting, and I think many of our listeners will not have heard this before. You said in your judgment Nigeria is the most important African country. Tell our listeners why that is, because many will not have a deep familiarity with that.
It has the largest population. It has oil resources. The population is very young. It's English-speaking, highly educated. Let me just give you an example. Kemi Badenoch, I hope the future Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is from Nigeria and is Christian. So if we were, in our relationship with right now Russia, China, etc., I think the continent as a whole, the continent of Africa, which is home to over 1 billion people.
Yes, and growing, a young population that is growing significantly.
It's the youngest population, and it's the only population on planet Earth that is growing as rapidly as it's doing.
Right.
And so Nigeria is strategically important. Nigeria is the sort of country that should be our ally. And there is a huge Christian population. That means they share norms and values with us. And we should not be abandoning Nigeria. And so and the population is pro-American. But then they are let down by their government. And I think that can change if we were even to bring a little bit of leverage down on them, because
we have that leverage. What when you say a little bit of leverage, what do you mean? Like what would the leverage look like that you think could literally save lives, especially Christian lives in Nigeria who are being attacked right now?
Well, it starts from the amounts of development aid money that we give them. We could apply sanctions. We could. I mean,
Well, and my legislation would sanction particular government officials. So government officials at the local level who are engaged in facilitating and acquiescing in this persecution. And so it's designed to use the power of the U.S. economy and U.S. sanctions to incentivize different behavior.
Absolutely. And incentivize the sort of legitimacy is really important for them to keep their money in America. All of these elites, the private jets, they come and they play in America, and American allies, even when they play in Europe. I think we have a say over that.
Sure.
But I don't want to go into the details of that. But I think we can leverage our influence to make the Nigerian government stop the violence immediately. They have Sharia law in the southern regions. We can say, and then we say, oh, human rights, this, that, and the other. Where you have Sharia law, you do not have human rights. Are you crazy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to stand up and we need to fight vigorously to prevent it here.
Wetin you dey wait for? If you never subscribe to Arole Baba 1010 Media and TV, you dey miss street gist.